What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the Brew Lab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight in the Brew Lab, we're starting off with a little bit of news and announcements. And oh wow, did we get some good news today? I almost can't believe it. Like, I need to pinch myself. Am I dreaming? What's going on? Usual news from Wizards of the Coast over the last, I feel like 6 months or so, has just been one piece of bad news after the other. You know, terrible economy information when they had the economy stream, and then alchemy coming out, and everybody being super annoyed with alchemy and all this kind of stuff. It was just like a one bit of ambivalent or kind of not so good bit of news after the next, and then today was just like only good news. Just the good news. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen it all already. I'm not about to click on these articles and read the whole thing over. You can all read. What I will do is, if you don't know where to go and find these articles, is leave links to all of them in the description down below for you guys to go and read for your own. But I will do a brief sort of summary and touch upon some of the salient points that at least I find to be just absolutely amazing and are gonna like make our lives better in general, and also just new avenues for pursuing competitive play. So it all gets summed up in the State of the Game article, this one over here. But you can also go into more depth. I read this one in its entirety. The other paths to Premier Play don't really affect me because I only play Arena. I don't play any paper whatsoever, and I don't play on Magic Online. So I read this one and I read this one, and you get a sort of summary of all of them in the State of the Game article. So there's a lot going on here. Lots going on here. Just kind of summarizing some of the mechanics and how it is that they will look on Arena. This little blue thing here appears to be a shield counter. Really, really cool. I like how that looks. And some of the threshold counters, how those will be looking, how it is that they'll be tracking. Hideaway looks really nice also with these little footsteps. Nice, really nice, like improvements to the user interface. Then like threshold counters, kind of keeping track of like when you've reached a certain threshold of things in the graveyard for those cards that matter, where you have 5 or more different mana values, so you don't have to go and look it up yourself. Really nice. It'll look like that. Then just go, little details, little bits and pieces, the stuff that we've been complaining about for quite a while. It's not all of them. You still can't pick your default land for some reason. I guess, honestly, they do this so that they can showcase like specific artists, because they do go out of their way to make these incredible new artworks for every single lands that hits Arena. And I guess one way of ensuring that we all see those is that the new decks you build once a new set drops will always start off with the new lands. And yeah, so we won't get that yet, where you get to pick a default land that you want. But look, I think they did say that they will get there. But then just little bits and pieces here about like auto tapping. I definitely recommend you guys all go and read this article. It's really, really interesting. Also, there's going to be new ways of purchasing packs. So now you can finally use, just good news. You know what it is? Honestly, I think this is all to do with the hiring of Huey Jensen. I even made a little post here on my Twitter. By the way, guys, why aren't you following me on Twitter? Go give me a follow on Twitter. Yeah, Huey Jensen got hired and is now the director of play programs for Wizards of the Coast. And he's a player, he's ex-Magic World Champion. He's a Hall of Famer. He's like somebody who spent a lot of time on our side of the fence. And he's, inside the belly of the beast now and improving things from within. And just, you can really tell that it's for the players, by a player. And just amazing little things that just make our lives better. I don't know if this sort of stuff here is specifically tied to him, but what I'll get to in a second with the pro playing and new avenues to getting to the world champs and that through Arena, I think are all definitely tied to his work inside Wizards of the Coast. But first of all, we'll be able to buy like much more packs with our gold. So it used to be that it capped out at 1,000 gold, and then you started to have to use gems. Now it's like you can buy 3 packs for 3,000 gold, 6 packs for 6,000 gold, 15 packs for 15,000 gold, 45 packs for 45,000 gold, etc., etc., etc. So like, really nice. And also the new mythic booster packs as well. Not that I don't think that's a very good way of spending your money, but it's just really good. I think that we can finally spend gold to, you know, especially people that pile up huge amounts of gold like myself. We can now spend that gold in boosters without having to click one booster, click one booster, click. You know how I always complain about that at the beginning of a new a new set release. So for example, we don't want to be seeing tonight's brew too early. A little sneak preview there for those of you with quick eyes. But see, like you have 46,000 gold. In a week's time when the new set comes out, I'll probably be upwards of 50-something thousand. And I would have to usually go into the store and, click on the 1,000. So there's very busy tonight by the looks of it. Over here. And you'd have to click on, 1,000 and over and over again. Now we'll be able to buy, like, over here, I'll just buy 45 packs in one go with my 45,000 gold. That's going to be a huge upgrade as far as I'm concerned. Then they've made it so that you can open more than one pack at a time. But we'll get that to that. For the next huge piece of news is Explorer. I kind of nailed it. I've been discussing this with friends, trying to decide what it is that it would be. Some people were discussing it would be Pioneer. Some people were saying it's kind of going to be like Historic without the alchemy cards. And I mean, essentially that's what it is, right? So we've got this new format called Explorer. And so, just to sum it up, I'm not going to, again, read this whole article for you. You should definitely go do it yourself. But it's basically a true-to-tabletop format using all the Pioneer legal cards that is non-rotating. So it's like basically every set that's on Arena from the beginning of its inception up until now, without all the digital-only stuff and the jumpstart stuff and the blah, blah, blah. It's just the cards from the from tabletop, from paper, which is amazing. I think that's really cool. That's finally going to probably get me to go into Historic, or into a eternal non-rotating true tabletop format that doesn't have alchemy cards in it, which is really good. I'm so happy about that. And then as far as the Premier play, this is where I think we can thank Huey Jensen. Go thank him on Twitter if you're on there, because I'm sure this is all him, man. They've made basically new ways for us to get into these qualifiers. So we're getting these play-in points. Again, I'm not going to go into details. You guys should go read the announcement article in full. But essentially, there's going to be these like arena championships 3 times a year with $200,000 prize pool. And if you win those, you'll be able to get into the World Cup, etc., etc. And you won't need to always end up in the top 1,200 of Mythic to get the qualifier badge for the qualifier weekends. There'll be other ways of doing so. Playing events will get you play-in points, and then you'll need to spend those play-in points to join the qualif. Anyway, I won't go into details, but it's basically, in my opinion, like I've seen some people complaining already. Magic players, hey, we just love to complain about everything, but honestly, I think it's just it's making it easier for different types of players on Arena to all get a shot You don't just have to be a person that plays 5 hours a day and just grinds and grinds away. You'll be able to spend your gems, spend your gold to play these qualifiers, events, and you can just focus on like one run once a month and just like really focus on that without like having to grind into the top 1,200 every single month to get your spot. And that I think is really, really cool. And then here we go. So quality of life improvements. These are also really good. Like first of all, they've changed. I still haven't gotten the update. I'm going to try and re-update in a second. I did get a notification like there is an update. Restart your arena hours ago, and I still haven't actually been able to download the update. So I guess they're just rolling it out around the globe a little slowly. And I'm in Kenya, so we'll probably get it last or whatever. But they've changed the way the deck thing looks. I was complaining about it just recently. When you go into the deck details and there was all that dead space, I think they've changed the way that looks. Then you'll be able to open all, even if you have less than 10. It used to be like open 10, and then anything under 10 you would have to open one at a time. I think now you can just like crack however many packs you want in one go with an open all button. Really cool. Your vault progress is always going to show on the top of your screen. Just lots of good news. Like there was nothing in this entire article that I went like, oh, that sucks, which has been like the case in the majority of the announcements from Wizards of the Coast over the last like 6 months or so. So just wow, like an amazing day worth of news. And yeah, I highly recommend that you all go. If you don't feel like reading the article, just watch Weekly MTG. This just went up like 10 minutes ago on the official Magic the Gathering YouTube channel. Again, I'll leave links to all of the stuff in the video description down below for you guys to go and peruse at your heart's content. But that's going to be it as far as news and announcements. And let's jump into tonight's brew. Boop. I had a look at my decks over the last months in EtherHub. I have a nice way of like scrolling back through all of the historic of like the decks that I've been bringing you guys. And I noticed that the last time that I brought a Dimir deck was like over 2 months ago. And it was a terrible ninja deck. So I thought it would be time to bring some Dimir action to the channel and play some colors that I don't usually play so much. And, a type of deck that I don't usually play as much, and that is Control. And so without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. Good old Dimir Control, baby. It's been doing some things for me. This has been real fun, like actually. A little bit of a change from my usual play style. So I'm going to do the usual. Take the deck from the top, describe the cards from left to right, explain to you why it is that I've picked them, how it is that they synergize with the other cards in the deck, if at all, and then what are some of the various play lines and interactions that we can expect. And then we're going to jump into some gameplay footage on the Mythic Ladder, where I hope to illustrate as many of those play lines and interactions for you against some of the top opponents on the planet. And then we'll jump back in at the end with my final thoughts and overall deck review. We're starting off with a couple copies of Bloodchief's Thirst. Amazing early game removal, and late game you can kick it and get rid of some bigger stuff as well as planeswalkers, which is really nice. Like this, I don't think there's a planeswalker that costs mana value 2 or less, but with the arrival of Obnixilis, that makes its own little counters, or tokens that are copies. I think that we will be able to finally use the unkicked Bloodchief's Thirst to get rid of Obnixilis for 1 mana. At least the copy that's a token, which is pretty cool. Finally. I wonder if they kind of knew that ahead of time, because it was always like a bit redundant that destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 2 or less. There were no planeswalkers with mana value 2 or less. Now there will be. And then next card in the set. In the deck, March of Wretched Sorrow, probably my favorite of the March cycle, and just a little bit of life gain, really. You can dump all your mana into this thing and gain a bunch of life, and you can point it at creature or planeswalker. So I just thought it's fantastic alongside Bloodchief's Thirst here, just to really get rid of those pesky planeswalkers, which there are lots of in the format right now. There's Orzhov and Esper control decks are like everywhere. Which brings us to our counterspell suite, and I do have quite a few, and I am happy that I have them because it's been coming more and more in handy. So of course there's some matchups where these are a bit useless, but we can you know, just discard them if we have to. Tested Talents is of course terrible in like mono white, but they do occasionally run Valorous Stance, that sort of thing. Disdainful Stroke as well against mono white. They almost never run anything with mana value 4 or greater if it's not the variant of the deck that runs Wandering Emperor. But they do also sometimes have the Legion Angel, so a couple of copies of Disdainful Stroke. But against the other decks like that run all the Planeswalkers, this is just fantastic. And it's also just received a reprint in Streets of New Capenna, so Disdainful Stroke is going to be around for a while. Then I do have one Jwari just to add to the mana base, because we have only got 24 lands and it's a control deck. So I was finding some matches I was bricking a tiny bit, so I threw in a Jwari and a Hagra Mauling just to bring that up to 26 potential land sources. Choop, choop. Then a couple copies of Negate. So basically it's 6-7 counter spells, which is quite nice. Then we've got a full playset of the Meathook Massacre as our sweeper of choice for tonight's deck. Not a bad sweeper, of course. Really good sweeper. We do need to, you know, it's not always easy to get it off though. So I'm thinking about maybe changing this up, maybe removing one copy of the Massacre and throwing in something else. Maybe one copy of Shadow's Verdict or Path of Peril, except I don't like not being able to cast the cleave costed side of it and only having it be you know, there with the black mana. We don't have any white sources, and I don't want to change the mana base to be able to do that. So it's been okay. It's been doing the thing. Mono white is our only real problem with that, because you know, they get their Adeline down on turn 3, which has 4 toughness, and before you can do an X is 4, you need to have 6 mana, and by that time you've usually been killed by mono white. So hopefully the single target removal against things like Adeline in the form of Hero's Downfall, Bloodchief's Thirst, and March of Wretched Sorrow are gonna prevent that from happening. Then we've got one sweet new card which no one is playing, and I actually have been having a lot of success with it, and I'm even thinking of a way to increase the number to 3. It's a really fun little artifact from Midnight Hunt, the Chilling Chronicle and Mysterious Tome. So on the front side, it's pay 2 mana, draw a card, and then you can transform it. It transforms the minute you do that into the Chilling Chronicle, and where then you can pay 1 mana, tap target non-land permanent, and then transform it back. So it keeps transforming. The first is, you know, and you always do this during the opponent's turn, because it's an artifact. You can do it also at instant speed the turn it's entered the battle. You know, it doesn't have summoning sickness. So, you know, opponent's end step, you've got some mana left. You're holding your 2 mana up for a counter spell or something. If they don't cast anything, so, you know, you're threatening them. You've got your blue mana untapped. They think it might be a counter spell, and they might be a little bit diffident to cast whatever they want to cast, and then at their end step you dump your 2 mana into this if they do cast nothing, and you draw a card, and then it flips into the Chilling Chronicle. Now you've got a thing that you can tap one of your opponent's non-land permanents down and then transform it back, and it's really, I can't stress it enough, like, wow, can't believe I kind of missed this card, especially in a control deck like this. It's been doing some work for me and drawing me lots of cards, and you know, allowing my creatures to attack or stopping his from attacking. You know, you can also tap down things like his Celestis or whatever. It's just really nice. Then we've gone for 3 copies of Hero's Downfall, so some instant speed removal that also targets Planeswalkers. We can also deal with some creature lands if we don't have our Field of Ruin ready, that sort of stuff. Just amazing. It's becoming my preferred instant speed, you know, hard removal spell in black. even though a lot of people prefer to run Infernal Grasp and things because it costs 1 less mana. Doesn't hit Planeswalkers, you lose life. The other one, you know, the one that you can't do Angels, Dragons, and Demons with, there's too many targets that it can't hit, and it, again, doesn't hit Planeswalkers. So I just... Also, my 2-drop slots is quite choked up with all the counter magic, so it's just perfect to run Hero's Downfall instead. Loving this card. Used to be rare, by the way, now it's uncommon. Which brings us to our 4-drops. I've gone for a full playset of Behold the Multiverse over the Deluge. And the reason for that is because we have Jin-Gitaxias in the deck. And if you have Jin-Gitaxias in play, whenever you cast an instant artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, it'll copy that spell. If you're copying the Deluge, the second copy won't get you any cards, the one that is copied, because Deluge is worded that it depends on how much mana you spent. And if you're spending no mana on the copy, you don't get to, you know, draw 4 cards off of it or whatever. So it's better to have Behold the Multiverse in this deck with Jin. Even though you're looking through less cards at the top of your library, it is unfortunate. We might just end up going for like a 3-1 split and put 1 Deluge in here. I think, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Boop. So yeah, I mean, remember not to cast your Deluge when Jin-Gitaxias is in play. You're going to waste the copy. Rather cast a Behold the Multiverse, and I like that you can foretell it. The opponent might think it's something else, and, you know, you keep them on edge with that foretell mechanic. And then you can only cast it for 2, and you get to scry 2, draw 2 cards. I think that's fantastic. So alongside with Mysterious Tome, that's our ways of drawing some cards. And we've also got Invoke Despair, which can draw you some cards, which is quite nice. Which brings us to the other new card in the deck, Inventive Iteration. How did I skip over this one? I've been... I never really saw it being played against me that much, maybe once or twice on the ladder, and so I just kind of skipped it over. But it's one of the new sagas from Kamigawa. It's a blue one, and it's a rare, and it's just really great in a control deck. Okay, so return up to 1 target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. So you can either reset you know, one of your planeswalkers if we had some, or, but, you know, it's just great for like maybe re-getting an ETB trigger. It can be quite good in that way. I'm gonna have to find out other ways of playing this card, but in this deck I'm using it to bounce the opponent's stuff on the first chapter. In the second chapter, you can return an artifact from your graveyard to your hand. So if they have removed your Mysterious Tome, it's the only artifact we have in the deck, poof, we'll get it back. But it's cool. Even if you don't want to run an artifact in the deck, you know, there's a failsafe. If you can't, draw a card. So, you know, basically, most of the time, it's bounce a creature or planeswalker, draw a card, and then it comes back as a 3/3 flyer that says, whenever you cast a spell, so any spell, your opponents can't cast spells with the same mana value as that spell until your next turn. So during their entire turn, now, like, whatever you've cast during your turn, be it a 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, whatever mana spell, now the opponent cannot cast that mana value spells until your next turn. So it's a nice little soft lock there. I quite like that. And, you know, you can multiple cast different spells every turn. Sometimes you can really think about it, especially if somehow you've had a look at the opponent's hand. You know, you could play this in a deck that also runs Duress and things like that, and then you know what they've got. And you can cast spells specifically to stop him from casting his stuff. But here we're just going with a bit of luck. You know, there's a lot of 3 mana stuff, 2 mana stuff. There's plenty of times when you sort of make it so that the opponent just can't cast a spell, which is quite cool. And then we've got a 3/3 flyer we can just start attacking face with, and it's one of our win cons, actually. Trying to think of a way to fit in a 4th copy. There were initially 4, and it's one of the cards that I trimmed for the Jwari and Hagra Maulings. But we might just end up going back to the 4 and 4 and cut these MDFCs, depending on how much we flood or brick. I was just finding I had a couple of games where I lost because I just wasn't getting my lands, and I couldn't think of anything else to cut, so I went down to 3. But it is one of our win cons, just, you know, typical control fashion. Eventually you get a 3/3 and you just keep attacking with that. Then we've got a Memory Deluge, which I've already touched upon. Invoke the Winds is the blue invoke. Also, has not seen any play, like very little play, especially on my channel. Gain control of target artifact or creature, untap it. Simple. And just gain control. Typical blue stuff, you know? Which is quite nice. It's another potential win con. We might snag one of the opponent's big creatures and then attack him with it. Really cool. Or whatever artifact we want to snag. Really cool. And of course, if we have Jin-Gitaxias in play, all of our stuff will get copied, which is kind of the point here. So you can like maybe steal 2 creatures off of one Invoke the Winds. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then we've got 3 copies of Invoke Despair, because this is another win con. We can just copy it with Jin-Gitaxias and you know, get the opponent to sacrifice everything that they have and lose life. And if they've got nothing to sacrifice, then they lose 6 life and we draw 3 cards. It's so punishment. Like when the opponent has like, let's say 1 Edgar down, they've just gotten Edgar down through our counter spells and things, and they've created a little Edgar token, and they've got a wedding invitation on the battlefield. It costs 1 Invoke Despair. It just gets rid of everything that they've worked so hard to get down onto the battlefield. Oh, it feels so good. And of course, if we can copy Invoke Despair with Jin-Gitaxias in play, all the better. Which brings us to the mana base. Oh, sorry, which brings us to Jin-Gitaxias, but I don't really need to go over this guy again. He's been around for a little while now, and it's seen quite a bit of play, actually, as a finisher in some of these types of control decks. I don't like the Hullbreaker Horror so much that I would never be, you know, I feel disgusted playing that card. I hate playing against it, so I would never play the Hullbreaker Horror in any of my control decks that run blue. I think Jin-Gitaxias is my new favorite top end for this type of brew. And yeah, it's really hard to remove because whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery or an artifact, it counters that spell, the first one. So they need like 2 Vanishing Verses to get rid of it and the mana to do it. And then you can always just save it, you know, with a counter spell or what have you. Pretty cool. And yeah. Copying our stuff when we cast it and countering the opponent's stuff when they cast it. Really cool. Mana base. 1 Hall, another win con. 2 Hives, another win con. 2 Otawaras. 1 Takenuma, because we don't have that many permanents to bring back. Oh, you know, creatures or planeswalkers. There's really just Jin. So there's no point in running more Takenumas. There's just 1 in here in case we do lose our Jin. We can go and grab them again. Then we've got a couple of Field of Ruins. And like I said, 1 Jwari and 1 Hagra Mauling as well. The rest are just basics and deals as usual. That's the deck. Dimir Control. Sorry for the long-winded introduction, but we're finally going to jump into some games. Boop. Bap. Beep. Boop. Bappity. Boopity. Gambler. No card draw. Only 2 lands. But some nice stuff. Do we trust in the heart of the cards? Or do we mull this down? Yeah, I think that's a mulligan. Much better. Some card draw. There we go. It's probably going to be Talia next turn or Luminarch Aspirant, so I'd kind of rather save my removal for that than get rid of the Hopeful Initiate straight away. It's not that important. Clever opponent. He's gonna come at us with Elite Spellbinder now, probably. Oh, yeah, never mind. Cheeky, cheeky. Very timely hero's downfall there. More hasty threats. This is bad. This is bad, 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 bad. I have a bad feeling about this. Can steal one of his creatures next turn, if we even get to the next turn. Okay. It's 5 damage. He's just got like a burn spell, we're dead. Down to 2. Whew. I'll take a sweeper and some life gain. Thank you very much. I think let's do that, shall we? Or should we gain some life? Tough call. I think we do that. This might have been a bad idea, because now we just need, like, he just needs to have, like, basically anything. Reckless Stormseeker will do it. He can reconfigure, obviously, this onto there if he wants. Please let us get to the next turn so we can gain some life. Woo, fingers crossed. Okay. I think it's Massacre time now. Doesn't have any creature lands. You 2 counters plus 1. Woo! Down to 1 HP. Now we gain some life, baby. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's make it 8. But douche. Oh, that feels good. Back up to 10. Close one there, guys. Really close. Like typical control deck fashion. Now we can start slamming him with Haul, but I'm not about to be silly and like let him play a hasty creature and then Angel Fire ignite it. I'm gonna hold up the Haul as a blocker. Nice. Okay. Again, don't wanna. We wouldn't have enough mana to activate the Hive. Okay, well, I'm gonna risk it. If he goes for the creature plus Angel Fire Ignition, we have the Test of Talents for the Angel Fire Ignition. Now we get to draw an additional card. Nice. We're doing things here. We are doing things here. Again, I think our only problem here will be if he, like, is able to put the Angel Fire on. Oops. That's just fantastic. He's got an Abrade in hand. And Raiju's and things. It's all hasty stuff, so we need to be really careful. But not that careful. Hee hee. We're in control now. Let's get the tome down. You can't cast 3-drops now. Because this was a 3-drop and we cast it on top of the Living Breakthrough. Now he's going to try and abrade it, which is fine. Or, you know, he wants to keep the abrade up for the Living Breakthrough, I guess. But now we've got Test of Talents again. Life is good, people. Life is good. Go for the negate, rather. Oh, Yakasha! That's how it's done, boys. That's how it's done. Real... Sometimes I surprise myself. I'm not a terrible control mage. It's not that I'm bad at it. I just don't like it. The games sometimes take way too long. You spend a lot of the time just drawing and saying go, and it's not the type of gameplay that I specifically enjoy, but I'm actually kind of good at it. And my, you know, stats on this deck on Untapped back up that claim. I've been doing really well with it, which is why I even decided to bring it to the channel. But that was about as good as it gets to showcase the deck. I mean, the only thing we didn't get to bust out was Jin-Gitaxias, but we used our Invoke the Winds or whatever. It's a pretty nice hand. More aggro. Okay. Slightly less scary aggro. At least our lands are being very forthcoming. See what else he plays, or if he just goes for the swing. Triple Den. You're a dead goblin, my friend. Again, let's do it during his turn, why not? And we can Invoke Despair next turn. What? 4th Den? Okay, so What's the better thing to kill here? The hasty 3/3? I think so. We can bounce something. That's cool.
You know what's great at dispelling darkness? A blazing inferno.
I want a black source now, like, so badly. Because that's an enchantment, a creature, and a planeswalker. Blackland! Oh, that might have just lost us the game. That's terrible. We need that land. We need that land. Please give me the land. Oh my god. Imagine it's a blue land.
Watch me heat up the dance floor.
That's game. Oh, it's gonna be game, I think. Oh, no way we lost to goblins. That feels terrible. Okay, that's 2 aggro decks in a row. We lost the first one. I mean, we won the first one. We lost the second one, albeit narrowly. I thought if we just got in the right land there, it would have completely swung the game the other direction. Unfortunate. Now let's please, like, not an aggro deck. You know, matchmaker. Every time I play, you know, mono white myself, I end up against these dreadful, like, grindy as hell control decks, and then whenever I'm playing a control deck, all I'm against is aggro. But there we go. We got a Meathook. Some card draw. Again. Looks like Naya this time. What the hell, man? That's 3 in a row. Comes the Elite Spellbinder. No? Ah, ooh, okay. Naya nonsense. Runes. Gross. Already got lifelink on that guy. It was a bit of a waste. Gotta go fetch that one now. Give itself haste. It's a little bit silly that he can do that. You know, that should have just gone straight to the graveyard. It's just my 10 cents. Of course. Of course. Always. Yeah. Can we risk putting a Jin down? Or do we just... and then going off with our spells after? Hopefully he doesn't have, you know, Banishing Light or whatever, Borrowed Time, that sort of thing. Then we can really gain some life next turn. Please no Borrowed Time. Please no Borrowed Time. Pretty please. Just play another creature, then we can steal both of them with Invoke the Winds next turn. Okay, so going for a second showdown of the skulls. There's the thing I'm worried about. Touch the Spirit Realm. That's going to be a problem. So we need to find a counter spell. Lay out the initiate. Yes. Okay, we're gonna have to take 8, which is terrible. Now we can just double whammy our life gain here. And I might even... So if we want to draw a card with the tome, we can only put 1, 2, 5, so gain 10 life. But 5 won't kill this thing, so we need to go with the full 8. 1, 2, 3, 7. It's still not enough. Okay, so then let's just steal both of them. Booyakasha. He's got 2 of these now, so it's definitely going to use one of them. Sure. I would just love so much to beat this guy. I hate this deck with all my hate. Like, it's so stupid. 3 Showdown of the Skulls rolling in one go. Just disgusting. Disgusting. Okay, we can tap down whatever he plays, even if it gains haste. We can kill pretty much anything he plays. Let's foretell a Behold and say go. I'm not about to attack with this. You gotta think I'm dumb. Unfortunately, we have no white mana with which to use the you know, get rid of some. It would be nice if we could kill this enchantment with his own hopeful initiate. Let's get a negate, please. No such luck. Okay. Let's go with 3. Bugger off, you stupid card. We can bouncy or use the Invoke Despair. Oh, that's nice. At this point, it doesn't matter. Let's go this route. He'll have to decide whether he wants to get rid of the Scalds or... See, that's stupid. That should not end up there. It's not attached to anything. It should go straight to the yard. I think that's a bug. That's a problem in the game for sure. Nah. Yeah. There's still creature land here to deal with potentially. That's really, like, should not happen. As soon as it's the creature that the aura is enchanted on dies, it should end up... Oh, come on, man. 4th showdown in a row. Woo! What a jerk. Don't tell me a snakeskin veil or something. Thank you. Let's draw another card. Disgusting. Disgusting deck. Sure, I'll love a free extra land. And get rid of his dude there. Bouncy, bouncy. And this can tap something now. Pretty cool. Alright. Surviving somehow. Test of Talents I think is pretty useless. I think the only instant of sorceries is this Commune with the Spirits. See, if he gives one of them haste, we'll tap it with the Chilling Chronicle, and then should leave us with enough mana to also Deluge for 7. Yeah, I did my math correct. Let's see if he's got a haste rune. Haunting. As if we needed any more pains in my butt with this freaking deck. I don't know if we'll win this one. Like, it's starting to look pretty ridiculous. I'm just kind of hanging on for dear life here. How ridiculous is this deck? Ah! It's enough to drive anybody insane. Let's go find a nice... Meathook Massacre would have been my first choice, but that's not bad either. Oh, baby! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Can do an 8 mana massacre here. Skadoosh! Oh, that feels so good. Yeah, it feels good. God, they always just have something. Bugger off. Now you'll try and come in there with the lair of the Hydra, I guess. Yep. I've got a hole here. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's beautiful. Mm. Okay. I want him to grow it a bit. Is that a bad idea? He should be able to block most of what he does. He's out of his showdowns. It's all the showdowns he's got. There's no 4-drops there for this. These are just 2 dead cards, unfortunately, in this matchup. Like I said, there's only the Commune with Spirits, which will be quite nice to hit. It is one of his ways of restocking. I'm hoping he's considering conceding. Do I detect a salty rope? We cast a 3-mana spell there, so he can't cast his whatever 3-mana thing he's got. It could be that. You know, the Runeforge Champion. Oh, so salty, Naya runes. Okay, nice. The bigger his cami gets, the better. I'm gonna just invoke the winds that shit. Excuse my French. Oh, you disgusting person. At least we had the Disdainful Stroke for that. Ow! Gonna steal me that. Thank you very much. We're not out of the woods yet, like not even by a long shot. Maybe they would just stop top decking like gas and just get some lands or something for once. This bloody deck. Okay, whichever one he puts this onto, we tap. It's tough, man. Tough match. Okay, there's Jin. Jin's nice. Okay. See where he puts the Michigo. We'll bounce that. Oh god, it just never ends with this guy. That's a problem. That's a problem. We might just lose it now. Let's see what he's got, and then we can decide what to tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 enchantments. He needs like 2 more to get these all flying, and then we're dead. Of course. Of course. Of course. Oh my god, this is enough to drive anyone insane, this deck, man. It's so stupid. It's the stupidest deck in the format right now. Like, I don't care what anyone says. It's absolute nonsense, man. Just give me a break. Such a dumb deck. Cannot believe that bullshit, man. What a stupid deck. Salty, salty. I need to still organize that Salt Bay meme to just slide onto the screen. What a waste of my life. Okay, so guys, the video's going way too long. I can't play another match. Otherwise, this will take forever to upload. But we did get to show off the deck in its entirety. There's, you know, you can see there's a lot of cool interactions and like a lot of ways that you can kind of bring the game back from the brink. But unfortunately, Naya Runes is just the most stupid thing that Wizards has come up with in a very long time. But jumping back into the brew with my final thoughts, I think if Dimir is what you're into, this is definitely one good way of going about things. I wouldn't make a single edit. I love the Mysterious Tome. I hope you guys saw there how it's, you know, worth its weight in gold. And yeah, that's about all I can say, really. You know, if you really wanted to be that type of a person, you might consider putting in some Hullbreaker Horrors. But I do like my Jin. You know, being able to copy that one Invoke the Winds there was just fantastic, in my opinion. And yeah, if he hadn't drawn that Runeforged Champion at the perfect freaking moment, seems like all he was drawing was gas the entire game, that guy. Which is something, you know, that deck is really good at, on top of everything else that it does really well. I mean, you can draw cards, you can gain life, you can be aggressive. It's just like, it's got a really good comeback mechanics, and it's really consistent because it's just like a lot of 4-ofs in the deck, and all the stuff that you draw helps you draw more. And it's just, anyway, don't get me started on Naya Runes. If you're not playing Archon of Emeria, you almost always should just concede. Like, you just win off of luck if they happen not to get the card they need when they need it, which is very rare, as you saw. But we almost did it. We almost got him. We got him down to 10 cards in his library, and we were doing the thing really well there. I think we played that as well as I could possibly have played it, and then luck played its part in the end, and we unfortunately got beaten. But that's going to be it for tonight's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. You know, don't forget to leave me a like, a comment, and a little subscribe-a-rooney. And I will see you all tomorrow with some fresh brews. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.